Okay, woo! It's been a long time. Shalom Baruch, everybody. Just to let everyone know, next week is Lag BaOmer. So again, another lapse of a class, but hopefully afterwards we'll continue B'ezrat Hashem. So before anything, we have to go into a little bit of Pesach Sheni. Okay, Pesach Sheni is on Friday. Pesach Sheni is in between Pesach and Shavuot. Pesach is only matzah. Shavuot is chametz. And Pesach Sheni, it's you have chametz at home, but you eat the Pesach matzah maror alone. No, you eat the you get no maror. I think it's just the matzah and korban Pesach together, and you have chametz at home. So it's three things, three stages. All Pesach, all Kulo Kodesh, Shavuot, all chametz. Pesach Sheni for who? For those who said, Lama Nigara, why should we lose out? Rav Nosson explains, what do you mean, why should we lose out? Is the people who need a second chance in life. The people who are not so kadosh v'tahor and they're not up on the mountain, right? And they want another chance. So we give them a second chance, but it's not fully like Pesach. It's not like, oh, bal yirayeh, bal yimatzeh, no chametz, no chametz. There's chametz at home, okay? But they're eating the korban Pesach, yeah, properly, but they have in their reshut chametz. They have in their reshut chametz. That means people who are chametz. Chametz is what? Chimutz, souring of the mind, souring of the maasim, that they're not 100%, okay? So Pesach Sheni is in between. The goal is to get to what? To Shavuot, where the Korban will be only chametz. What's going on? You would think, everyone makes noise of Pesach. Pesach is a light which is way above our level. That's what the Arizal says, that on the night of the Seder comes what's called the Mochin de Gadlut and Mochin de Katnut. All these high intellectual levels are coming in. That's why if you notice how you were starting Rosh Chodesh Nisan, you had super energy. It wasn't you. That, it's like the light coming in. The joke, all right? I told you the joke. Why do they say Kicha de Pescha in Aramaic? Why do they say Kimach le Pesach? Why is it not in Lashon HaKodesh? This is the Daf Yomi yesterday in the Gemara. Why Kimcha de Pesach? So the angels should understand when the Shefa is coming down, they shouldn't be catching on the Shefa coming down. They shouldn't, prosecute against the Shefa coming down, right? Kimcha de Pesach is a big light coming down. It's not you. It's not you. It's not who you really are. You say Alvai, Alvai can have this attitude and this feeling of chirut. There's one chirutin, we can have this all year round, but that's not the goal. The goal is the chametz. The goal is Shavuot. What's on Shavuot chametz? It's not two opposites. Shavuot is the 50th gate. After having a big light on the first night of Pesach, and it's taken away already on the day. The first day of Pesach, they take away that light already. That's why you notice, people come to shul on the first day of Yom Tov in the morning. They're heavy with the constipation from the matzahs and the orot, the 4 cups, right? The combination. People, they're like this. They're not there, right? The orot were taken already. That's it. It was a big light. The light was mainly the preparation. I had koach to buy new clothing, and I feel so good about myself. New shirts, new bekeshe, new shtramo, and new shoes. Tons of food and shefa and everything. You feel good about yourself. And the halacha is you have to feel good about yourself. That says in the Shulchan Aruch and Piskei Tshuva, it brings it that the whole idea of Kimcha de Pesach is every Jew in the world should feel good about themselves. They should feel like a Ben Chorim. They shouldn't feel, I'm miskin, I have no food for Pesach. And they shouldn't feel like that. Everyone should feel, wow, I'm on top. I'm the top of the world. That's attitude. That's the light which is really on top of the world, but it's not really you. And then on Shavuot, what is it? That is who I really am. Shavuot is who I really am. And what am I really? Chametz. Whoa. What does that mean? Chametz. Nosson explains. Chametz and matzah is the difference between a malach, an angel, and a tzaddik, a human being. Malach, they're both srafim. Why? Because they have no kelim. They have no capacity for light. An angel, he's all can. What did in the Haftarah of Shabbat Chanukah when Hashem told to Yehoshua Kohen Gadol, "Natati lacha mahalachim bein ha'omdim." It's at the end of the Haftarah of Shabbat Chanukah. I'll give you mahalachim, movement, walking movement, motion amongst the omdim. Who are the omdim? The angels. Because we're talking about the angels, right? And he said, "I'll give you movement among the angels." Angels are called omdim, and a person's called mehalech. Man has movement. An angel has no movement. He's fixed, and on that he receives his light. And if you give him too much light, he burns. That's why Srafim are called Srafim. It's an Agnamus that we read on Shavuot. Talks about those angels, they're there for 1 second. They say they're Hallel, they're burnt up. If you look at the taich of the Agdamus, it's unbelievable. If you have a chance, they're saying, I know most people, they're half dead when they're staying up all night and then they come to Agdamus, they're not there. But if you can try to focus on the words of Agdamus, it's unbelievable. I'm a Sephardi, Sephardim don't say Agdamus, but because in Brest they made a deal to, Rabbeinu spoke so highly about Agdamus. Rabbeinu said that spoiled, and they don't know how spoiled they are about the Agdamut and the Nigun of the Agdamus. Agdamos, Milin, he spoke highly about the Agdamus and the Nigun of it. He says it's a shir shel cheshek, it's very powerful, the Agdamus. When you read, you understand the meaning of it, it's unbelievable. It's mamash unbelievable. This Friday has something else called the Ketubah. It's very long. You fall asleep for sure. If you fall asleep, it's very long. It's split in Chutz La'aretz in 2 days. In 1 day, it's very long. It goes through all the Taryag mitzvot. It's a fact. Okay, we'll do all this. I have time to say it. Ashkenazi breast of minyan and the Agdamis, everyone's screaming. You know why they scream in the breast of minyan and for Agdamis? You don't fall asleep. So the mama is screaming, the whole shul is shaking, so you can't fall asleep because it's super loud when they say Agdamis. And after being up all night, and that's. But in any event, it says in Agdamis, right, that there are certain angels, they're created just to praise Hashem on 1 day, and that's it. They disappear. So the Srafim. A human being has an advantage, Rav Nosson says, over the angels, and that we're called Mahalech. What does it mean, Mahalech? That we have activity. Where in this world? Right? He says, how does he say that when the Jews said Na'aseh v'nishma, the angels came and put two ketarim. The keter, we didn't go into it all the keter yet. We're going to, especially in paragraph 7, we're going to the keter. The keter, Rav Nosson says, is the idea of Shavuot. Keter is the crown. And what's the idea of the crown? Chametz of the korban of Shavuot, which is what? Hana. What does it mean, Hana? How do you make fermentation in bread? You wait. How do you get chametz? Chimutz, chai regaim. You have to wait 18 minutes, whatever, and then it's waiting, and there's bubbling, and in the fermentation in the dough, there's air sockets. There's air that goes in. So to a yid, the difference between the service, if you want to save an angel, and the service of a Jew, is the Jew in his service of Hashem has setbacks. You have ups and downs. It's not like every day. It's like I said this hundreds of times. One day you're a malach, one day you're a galach. Right? In Avodat Hashem, one day you wake up on time, you feel amazing. Next day, it's 10, 11 in the morning, you didn't wake up yet, and you feel bad about yourself, or whatever. One day you're learning his gishmak, one day, that's how it is. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like that, because that's the air sockets, that's the chametz in Avodat Hashem. This knowing how to bounce back, to handle the setbacks, and to continue going, that is unique to a human being. That's how tzaddikim become tzaddikim. And what the Gemara says in the Yerushalmi, mechitzatam atidi liot, nachon, mechitzatam lifni mimalachei hasharet. The mechitza, which is the keter, the crown is like a keter, the crown of the Jewish people, which is their perception, will be lifnim, before the angels. Because of this, because we have what's called chametz. Okay? So you would think Pesach is the climax of the year. It's not the climax of the year. Shavuot is known to be the highest chag of the year. That's why there's no Chol HaMoed. Why is there Chol HaMoed in Sukkot and Pesach? Because you need time to integrate it. The first day is Yom Tov, last day is Yom Tov. Chol HaMoed is time for you to absorb the light of the chag. In Sukkot, it's to absorb the sukkah and the lulav. These are big lights. They're big lights. In Pesach, to absorb the matzah and the constipation and whatever you have, right, to absorb it. And then on Shvisha Pesach is the climax of the Yetziat Mitzrayim is finalized at Yom Suf on the 7th day. And also that after Hoshana Rabbah, Simchat Torah, Shmini Atzeret, okay? That takes 7 days, 8 days, whatever. Shavuot is 1 day in Eretz Yisrael, 2 days. But it's only 1 day because it comes in one shot. How can you handle it? Because you built it up. You waited 49-day countdown. And with all the ups and downs in this Sfat Omer, if you notice, there's a lot of ups and downs. Rav Nosson says in his prayer that he wrote for Sfat Omer, it's prayer 36, part 2. He says, and it's especially about this time. I feel that they're shooting me like in a sling, a hollow sling. That's all year round. Especially in Sfat Omer, I'm having major ups and major downs. So that's how Sfat Omer is. Because that's what's going to build you the chametz of Shavuot. The goal is chametz. Why is that the goal? What do you mean chametz? Chametz has in what? has it there. How was it? Matzot taman mavet. How was it? Do you remember the Zohar? Taman chayim, taman mavet, chametz, matzah. How does it work again? I'm trying to remember the Gemara, the Zohar, how it says you have mavet, machmetzet. There you go, machmetzet. And the word machmetzet, lo tochelu, you have what? You have met and chametz. Because met is the death. That's why it's chametz is so asur and pesach, because it's mamash, the idea of death. Yet the goal of a Jew is to take the death and make something out of it. That's the goal. The goal is we make something out of chametz. Again, Shavuot, Kabbalat Torah, and you're offering chametz. What in the world? Because that's the whole idea, that in the chametz, I'm connected to Hashem. And dafka from the chametz, I'm connected to Hashem. Dafka from my ups and downs and the waiting and the delays and the ikuvim and the minias and everything keeping me from Hashem, that's what builds me. That's the idea of Shavuot. That's why it's so big, okay? So Pesach Sheni is like in between. It's unbelievable. It's again the Jews who are not at the level of angels, Amar Malach, and they missed out. Why should I lose out? Because I'm Tamemet and I'm Be'ikuvim. So Nosson says that means not just actually on the halach level, people who weren't in Yerushalayim at the time of the Korban Pesach. But in life, you have people, they may have done Pesach, but they're out of it. Already, they're already 1 foot in and they're already out already. It didn't sink in. So Pesach Sheni is a second chance. So it's a nice chiddush on the side from Rav Tzvi Cheshen and from Chaim Kramer. They have a nice chiddush. Rabbi Nachman, his birthday is on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. And his name is Gematria Pesach. Pesach is 148. Nachman is 148. When Nosson explains the idea that Korban Pesach is the light of this tzaddik specifically. That's a special light. Okay. So Korban Pesach is the idea of the tzaddikim, but particularly this tzaddik who's called Nachman, Netzach. Okay. So what's Pesach Sheni? It's a second chance for those who are far to also taste of this tzaddik. So watch. I said this maybe in the past a few times. If now Rabbi Nachman's idea is Pesach, Rav Nosson, his disciple, is the idea of Pesach Sheni. Why? First of all, the calculation of Rav Nosson's birth. Rav Nosson was born on when? On Tu Bishvat. The year he was born, and the year before he was born. I forgot he passed away in the year 1844 at the age of 65. In Hebrew, it's Tara. So it's 1844, 1845. He passed away at the age of 65. So he was born what year? Come on, guys. Where's our brain? 1845 minus 65. You guys, come on, punch it out. You guys have brains. Let's do the cheshbon. 1845 minus 65. So what year was that? 1785. He was born 65.
So 70, 80 or 90?
1780. 1790?
80.
No, 1790. Wait, come on. Where's our brains? We all use calculator. It's 1780. 1780. Okay, fine. Right. So the year of Nosson was born, 1780. The year before, 1779, was not a leap year. So it was a regular year. So now watch. If now Rabbi Nachman's whole inyan, he says it's Pesach, okay? So Rav Nosson, if he was born on Tu Bishvat, so and everything is so meduyak on these two tzaddikim. Rav Nachman was born on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, he passed away on Chai Tishrei. Rav Nosson was born on Tu Bishvat, and he passed away on Asar B'Tevet. And both have significance. We talk about in the rest of Sfarim what's the significance of Rav Nachman's birth on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, Rosh Hashanah Limlachim, Man Malchei, Rabbanan, the idea of tzaddikim is Rosh Chodesh Nisan, whatever. His passing is Chai Tishrei, the Ushpiza of Moshe Rabbeinu. So it's exact. But Rav Nosson also, Tu Bishvat is Ilanot, free. A talmid is a fruit of a tree. The tzaddikim are called Etz Chaim Machazikim, but the tzaddikim of the trunk. Okay, and the perot of the talmidim. So he's born on Tu Bishvat. Asar B'Tevet is also the art site of Ezra Sofer, and the Nivka Hakir. The wall of Yerushalayim was cracked by the enemy, and the Torah was translated into the Greek. Okay, and Rav Nosson, his whole avodah was to combat that. Okay, so is there significance? So now, if you're going that far, let's go a step further. When was he conceived? He was conceived. Conception is normally lechatchila 9 months. Punkt. 9 months exactly before Tu Bishvat in the year 1779. Right, was Pesach Sheni. Okay, on Yudalit Iyar, Rav Nosson was conceived. He was born on Tu Bishvat. Okay, so the Rav Nosson's inyan is Pesach Sheni. He gives a second chance. That's why people who learn Breslev, they say, I learned just Rabbi Nachman. If you don't have Rav Nosson in the picture, you don't have Breslev. There's a guy, I think he's still speaking against Breslev. He says, I'm not against Rabbi Nachman. I'm against his Talmud, Rav Natan, who distorted, to repeat what this guy says. I don't like to say his name, everything. But if you don't have Rav Nosson, you don't have Rabbi Nachman. You have nothing. Sorry. He himself said that. Rabbi Nachman said, without Rav Nosson, not even a page of Geniza would have been left by me. And everything is through him. You have the tzaddik, and the Talmud explains, like the pattern, right? You had Moshe Rabbeinu, Kibel Torah Misinai, Sara Yehoshua, Pirkei Avot. Yehoshua Liskanim, who's the first one to transmit the Torah properly, to make the continuity of the Torah? Everyone heard Har Sinai. Okay, but now that it should continue from door to door, you need, the Torah has to have a format that it's continued. It has a continuity. That was Yehoshua Benu. Okay. Also, you had afterwards Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who was a big light, but who continued it? The one who wrote the Zohar, Rabbi Abba. He made sure that it's written in the format that they understand how to transmit it. Okay. Afterwards, another big light, the Ari HaKadosh, the Arizal. He was available for 2 years. That's it, from age 36 to 38, and then he passed away. And he took Rav Chaim Vital to the Kinneret. He gave him from the water of the Be'er Miriam. He says, you're going to need this because I'm going to give you so much information to make sure that you remember everything that I'm giving you. In 2 years, he packed all the Kitvei Ari. It's humongous, the Kitvei Ari. It's not just the Shon Sha'arim. It's also Otzot Chaim and all these Apriyetz Chaim, whatever, all these other books. And it's tons. It's the whole Kabbalah, okay? So who's the one who gave it over properly? Rav Chaim Vital. The Baal Shem Tov. We have the Baal Shem Tov, but who is the main Talmud who made now that the Chassidut is until today? It's the Maggid of Mizrich. The old Talmud and the Maggid of Mizrich, right? There's a continuity. The Heilige Rabbi Amalek, Rav Zushan, they're all students of the Maggid, okay? Now Rabbi Nachman also, the same pattern. There's this tzaddik, Rabbi Nachman, who gave intense lights. If you want lights in Breslev, no problem, you'll find it. What are you going to do with the light? Okay. You take the light and you go to your day-to-day living. What do you do with that light? How are you going to decipher this light in Breslev and bring it down on a practical level? This is Rav Nosson. So he's Pesach Sheni. And in your practical level, it's for people who are stuck. Why should I lose out? That's why we need Rav Nosson. So this, in a nutshell, is the idea of Rav Nosson and how it's connected to Pesach Sheni and why Pesach Sheni is a second chance. And that means when I come along Pesach Sheni and there's no tachanun and it's a day, so remember that I'm given a second chance. I don't have to say eat the matzah, whatever. The day itself in halacha, by you not doing tachanun on the day of Pesach Sheni, you're already imbibing the light of Pesach Sheni, by keeping the laws that apply to Pesach Sheni. Okay. Fine. So now, after such a long break, we're continuing where we left off. 2 months, man. Okay, we're now in Torah Kaf Dalet, Seivav. We're going to go from just quickly over from the beginning to get to where we're holding B'ezrat Hashem. There's so much on this paragraph. There's so much on this Torah. We're 2 years already. 2 years. Exactly 2 years. This week is 2 years ago we started this lesson. And we're not even halfway. Okay? But it's exciting. It goes on and on and on. It's chaval to leave in the middle because we want to squeeze the lesson to the maximum that we can. Rabbi Nachman said that you should go over a lesson Likutey Moharan until you see your whole life transformed based on the light of that Torah. So it could be a month, 2 months, 3 months. It could be a year, 2 years. Some people say it's going to get boring. No, if now you know how to open up the Torah and you know how to extract chayut from the Torah every time, it doesn't get boring. Plus, the insights are just unbelievable. The insights in the Torah, they give you the light. It's like learning another lesson. You would say, let's go to another Torah. Not necessarily, but this is why, by the way, Rabbi Nachman said to have 2 sadarim in the Likutey Moharan, a bikiyut and biyun. The biyun is what's going to change you. You go for a lesson and you bake with it. You bake yourself with it. This is what's going to change you. But sometimes you have highs and lows. You don't have koach to learn or whatever. So he said also bikiyut. Bikiyut is to give you like that quick fix. Quick fix. So I have my bikiyut seder and Rabbi Nachman's teachings to give you that quick fix that you need. Okay. But what's going to change you? The one that you're mitbonen and you're putting your energy in, that's what's going to change you. In this lesson, the main themes again is simcha. Simcha doing mitzvahs, okay? One other joke, let me give you a new joke. On the yard side of Rav Shai ben Rav Moshe, so somebody made a suda, and it's the custom on the day of the yard side, so you want to learn some Torah from the tzaddik. So what did they do for Shai Moshe? They opened the cookbook to see some recipes. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're now paragraph number 6 again, and we'll get to the point that we're holding today, B'ezrat Hashem. Okay. So again, Torah lesson 24, paragraph 6. He said before that by doing mitzvot besimcha, you are fit to receive what's called bracha, blessing, and the main blessing should be sechel. In other words, if Hashem opens the door for you, be like Shlomo Amalek. Hashem said to Shlomo Amalek, ask me whatever request you want. Riches, honor, wealth. Shlomo Amalek says, I want chokhmah. I want the wisdom of you, Hashem, to understand you. And the Midrash says, and Dafka the Midrash this week, or last week, there was this week, there was no one as great as Shlomo Melech and his chokhmah. And it's something amazing. Normally you know this about Amarti Echkema V'Yerechoka Mimeni, right? That when we came to Torah Aduma, Shlomo Melech said, I can't fathom this. The Midrash this week says another thing. Even Shlomo Melech could not understand why Dafka are the Arba Minim. Why is it an etrog? Pri Etz Hadar. Who tells you that Pri Etz Hadar is an etrog? Who tells you that Kapot Marim is the lulav? Kapot is plural. Kapot is maybe where the fruits are. That's the kaf of a tamar is not the shidra, the spine. It's the marim. And yet we learn out the Mesorah from Moshe Rabbeinu that it's the shidra, the branch, and it's closed. And who says, anaf etz avot is hadas? There's a pasuk that says both the word hadas and avot. So if hadas is avot, why do you say in the same pasuk also hadas and also avot? There's room to say that's another type of branch, another type of a tree. And arvei nachal, every plant, every tree is arvei nachal that grows on water. Every tree grows on water from a river. So it says in the Midrash this way that even Shlomo Melech couldn't figure out how they deducted Chazal, the Chachamim, that this is specifically the Arba Minim, okay? So Shlomo Melech, he asked Chochmah, just to go back to what we're saying now, you want bracha? You're going to want the Lamborghini and the big cars and the big garage and a lot of bracha. And a lot of Jews in Chutz La'aretz, when they want a bracha, they shav parnasa, shav parnasa, shav parnasa. Here in this slide saying, aim higher, aim for bikat sechel, aim to earn to serve Hashem, because there's a rule. It's a rule. Rabbi Nachman says in lesson 14, bichlal matayim maneh. In 200, you have 100. If you aim high, automatically you have everything underneath, right? In kemach, in Torah. In Torah and Kemach. In Torah and Kemach also. In Kemach in Torah. Yeah, okay. But in Torah and Kemach. That's the main thing, right? It's the Torah is the main thing, and the Kemach, the Gelt, whatever, comes in afterwards. So he's saying in this lesson, aim high. Aim for Birkat HaSecha. So here Rabbeinu is warning that even when Hashem opens the door to Birkat HaSecha, on the Pshat level, this means like this, first of all. That when you succeed in doing mitzvot v'simcha, which means you're always a happy guy. So no matter what you go through, when you have ups and downs, you're always working to be v'simcha. And when you're down, you cry about it. It bothers you that you're not happy, but you don't stay that. You don't stay depressed. Most people, when they get hit with sadness, they just get stuck there. Get stuck. The person who's seeking to come close to Hashem, he won't let it happen. He won't accept, okay, status quo, Tisha B'Av, so we have to be like everybody else. No. He's going to cry about it. He's going to make a mecha'ah. He's going to make a retort. He's going to make a retaliation to Hashem. I just want to serve you, Hashem. Why do you want me to be sad? Why do you want me to suffer like this and be sad? Hashem Yitbarach, if you want me to suffer, fine. So let me accept it b'simcha b'emunah. But if this is not what you want, then get me out of this, Hashem. If this is what you want, Hashem, you want me to suffer like this? So if I know this is what you want, Hashem, I'll do it b'simcha. But just let me know that this is what you want. Don't make me frustrated and confused and everything. I want answers now, Hashem. I don't want to be sad. I want to serve you b'simcha. If now this suffering is your ratzon, the guy in the bed, yeah, it's ratzon Hashem. The guy who's dying from cancer in the bed, yeah, it's ratzon Hashem. I have to accept it. But he's sad. So what did you get? If now he's b'simcha, I can understand. If he's b'simcha and he's not dying from cancer and he's sitting, he's b'simcha, that's one thing. But if he's sad, everybody's sad. So who wins here, Hashem? Everyone loses. You lose also, Hashem. If we're sad. If we're sad, you're not. Yismach Yisrael be'osav, Yismach Hashem be'ma'asav, Yismach Yisrael be'osav. It works both ways, Hashem. If we're happy serving you, then you're happy, and we're sad. You're not happy, Hashem. It's a win-win or no win, whatever. So we have good arguments with Hashem. Rabbi Yisrael Karduner, I said this a few times, he would walk, he was so poor, he couldn't afford traveling from Tzfat to Meron. He would go to Meron every day by foot, would walk from Tzfat to Meron, and he would like learn Mishnayos Baal Peh. Yeah, he knew Mishnayos Baal Peh because he was going. So he was poor, and his shoes wore out. He woke up one morning, he had no shoes. So he said, Hashem, let's look at you. I'm adding that, but that's like attitude. Okay, Hashem, or give me new shoes, give me the dat, which means the simcha and emunah. I don't need new shoes. I'm okay. Okay. If now you want me, or give me shoes, Hashem, or give me that, but to stay like this, sad and miserable, I don't have shoes. Who's gonna win? You're not gonna win. I'm not gonna win. So Hashem, if I know this is your will, if I know Hashem, you want me to spend the rest of my life mopping the floor, doing sponja, standing on my head, and I know this is what you want, and this is for sure, I'll do it, Hashem. I just want to make sure this is what you want. If now you want me to suffer like this, or chas shalom this, whatever. If it's a divorce, I don't know, I'm just saying, person has a dead-end situation, and he doesn't know this is he's broken about because he feels that this is not the right thing. So he tells Hashem, if this is not the emet lamito Hashem, then do something. But if this is what you want, Hashem, then let me accept it. The simcha ubemunah. There's a breast of song by Yisrael Dagan, a breast of a singer from 30 years ago. He wrote, simcha balev ve'emunah. Like the Israeli style, you know, like they're flying. Give me just simcha balev. Just Hashem, just give me simcha in my heart and emunah. Because that's basically the yesodot of being a yid, is simcha and emunah. And both are here in this lesson amazingly. Simcha and emunah is the key for everything else. If you have simcha and emunah, you can't learn Gemara. And even if you're learning Gemara, it's in Tisha B'Av mode. It's not going to do any good for you. It's not going to change you if you're just and you're inside, whatever. You need simcha and emunah in order for things to move, okay? So back to here. Birkat HaSechel, when a person is in simcha mode, so automatically his capacity in his brain is more chav. Nelson explains this. When the person's happy, even biologically, you know, chemistry, when a person is in a good mood, his brain capacity, it's more open to receive and understand better, understand clearer, right? The Torah gives you, you know, it sinks in much better when you're b'simcha, okay? So to get the Birkat HaSechel, which is blessing of the intellect, wow, it's because I did the mitzvah b'simcha, so now I have this Birkat HaSechel. Rabbeinu was putting a warning here. He said, wait. If you think intellect is the whole thing about Judaism, you're wrong. Tzarich, Amshich, Emunah, Betoch Birkat HaSechel. The blessing of the intellect is like a cup. And you put into it Emunah. Meaning what? We went into this in the first class. The whole goal of the intellect of the Torah, the whole goal why you have to sharpen the Chadet HaSechel, Abaye and Rava and the Rashba and the Rosh and the Rif and the Ran and any level of Torah learning, if it's your weekly art scroll shir on the Chumash or Pirkei Avos, I don't know, whatever you're holding, the whole goal of intellect in Torah is to be a vessel for Emunah. You hear that? It's crazy. It's not like you think, okay, like in the university, they study, and then I use intellect for an intellectual purpose, and that's it. No, Torah, Judaism is not like that. I learn Chumash, Rashi, Gemara, Kabbalah, whatever, like Chassidut, and I have all these ideas and machshavot and asugis and everything. What for? For Emunah. Now all that is to build up. Then now that I can close the book, I can daven better. I can say Baruch Shamar better. I can say Birkat HaShe'atzah better. I can do Birkat Hamazon better. That's the goal. It's not happening. That's another issue. But that's the goal, that my davening got better. My Emunah Dike based avoidas, which is davening. Emunah and davening is the same. Rabbeinu says in lesson 7, lesson 9, lesson 112. That now my Emunah is sharpened. That I can better talk to Hashem. My Hitbodedut is advanced. That's the idea of going with a lesson Likutey Moharan, which is equal to Lasot B'Torah Tefilot, to turn the Torah lessons into prayers, to be able to do Hitbodedut about your learning, to say Likutey Tefilot, and to feel it. The goal of sharpening the mind is for that. He says, Rav Nosson in the prayer, we're going to get to the prayer on this. The prayer on this section of the Torah is one of the most powerful sections of this prayer. On prayer 24, from my opinion, the most powerful prayer is what he says on this idea, that the goal of my sechel, to reach sechel, is so that I should believe more in you, Hashem, believe more. And emunah is the exact opposite of sechel. Sechel is it's concrete. I can feel the table. I can feel. I can squeeze the idea. Right? Emunah is I have no grasp. Emunah. It's above me. It's opposites. Because the goal of the Sechel is that now I'm on a higher platform for Emunah. I'm now pushed upwards. Yes, intellect pushes you upward. Fine. So now my standing for Emunah is on a higher level now. That's the goal. Push up the Emunah. Not like here. Rabbeinu says you have to have Emunah and Da'at. Those people, those simple Jews who have Emunah, it's a big bravo. It's already a big plus in this generation that somebody has Emunah, even though they don't have Da'at of the Torah. You have these people, they don't know the halacha that well, they don't keep the Torah that well, but I have Emunah, and they go to Kibbutz Tzadikim and everything, but the Chala Shabbat and everything, whatever. But they have Emunah at least, they show it. They go, they say they kiss the Sefer Torah and everything, and they give tzedakah to Baba Sali, I don't know, whatever, but they have the Emunah. Rabbeinu says Emunah without Da'at is dangerous. Number one, the Emunah can take you off. You can be misled to believe in the wrong things. That's why you need the Torah, okay? But Da'at for sure about Emunah is nothing. It's nothing. It's now, you need both. Because what the Da'at does, it pushes up your Emunah. Your plateau of starting your Emunah is on a higher branch. It's on a higher level. Or your cup for Emunah is made much bigger. It's like you have Emunah and you're at the bottom of the cup. The cup is only this big. So when you have that, it makes the cup of Emunah 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger. So now you have your Emunah's wow. You have a feel of more what's out there that you don't know, but you believe in it. Your belief of what's out there is now enhanced because of the Torah. The Torah tells you about Malachim and the story and everything. When you hear what the Torah is telling you, so it's meant to enhance your Emunah, that the cup of Emunah is bigger, plus your plateau where you're starting to believe is on a higher level also. But Emunah is always there. It's endless. Emunah is the Da'at of the Torah is endless, but Emunah is also endless. So he's saying here, tzech lamshich Emunah letchol b'kat hasechel, ki ein lismoch al hasechel ba'atzmo kayadua. Okay? Never do we rely on the sechel in itself, kayadua. That's the whole secret. We can go a little bit Shavuot. It says, when the Jews said, Na'aseh v'nishma, dafka then, the angels came down. Rav Nosson explains what's so special about Na'aseh v'nishma, what's so unique that the Jews first said, we will do, and then we will listen. This is the patent of a Jew. The patent of a Yid is, first let's do what they tell me to do, with no questions asked. Let me do, and afterwards explain to me. When a child, Rabbeinu says in Sichot Haran, a child that starts off learning, you start explaining about all the things, well, it works like this, and then we say, no, there was a Hashem, there's an Eibishter, there was a creation of the world, there's an Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, no questions asked. You just shove it into the person with Emunah, the child, and it's understood. It's understood for itself. So Naaseh is, I do first. I do. My main concern is to do. Understanding afterwards. The main thing is the Asiyah. The main thing is I put on tefillin. The main thing is don't say, okay, I want to first go to 20 plus on Shabbat, and then I'll decide if I want to start keeping Shabbat or not. No, you jump in. We tell you, you have to have Emunah. If you don't have Emunah, it's not going to move. The motor won't run. I have to have a stage where I jump in. If there's no Emunah, in other words, you explain someone intellectually that without Emunah, you can't go forward. You have to trust. You have to put your trust, okay, and faith in the teachers, the tzaddikim, the Torah, that this one has to be done. Afterwards, you'll understand. You're going to understand. We're not trying to hide anything from you. You're going to understand Naaseh v'nishma. So because the Jews did Naaseh v'nishma, Rav Nosson explains the Keter, which is coming up, the goal, the Keter, which is to perceive Hashem at the highest levels, comes from Naaseh v'nishma. Okay? Ein lismoch al hasechel ba'atzmo kayadua. Emunah, which is Asiyah. So now, we started this, we went into this the last class. Rabbeinu brings 3 psukim to explain the same idea, the same concept. Number 1, we did this pasuk last week, okay? The last class, sorry. V'zeh bechinat. This idea that emunah is necessary for the bracha, the sechel. V'zeh bechinat ish emunot rav brachot. What's ish emunot rav brachot? It's a pasuk in Mishlei. A man of faith has abundant brachot. That fits in perfectly because it's birkat sechel, that's brachot, okay? And ish emunot, that if you're a man of emunah, so there's abundance of bracha. In other words, rav brachot, when is there abundance of bracha? When is it a person is ish emunah? We went this last time. Ish means like solid. Ish Naomi, Magid Megillat Ruth. Ish Naomi means this is me. Who I really am is ish. Ish emunot. If you're a man of emunah, why is it in the plural, by the way? It says emunot. When you see coming up, he's going to say, even past this level of when you're ready to reach the keter, he says coming up, you can see it in paragraph Zayin. It says vegam sham in the middle of paragraph Zayin. Vegam sham, when a person reaches this keter, sarich emunah b'chinat amon mufla. So emunot means you're going to need emunah at certain levels at every stage in life. There's many stages. That's why it's in plural. Ish emunot. There's the emunah of the sechel, and there's the emunah in the keter where there's no sechel. Even there's emunah. We're going to get to that all. We're going to get to that eventually. So Rav Brachot. There's a lot abundance of brachot. So the Midrash explains this in many ways. The one we want to focus on is on Yaakov Avinu. The verse continues like this. This Mishlei Kafchet 28, verse 20. Ish emunot Rav Brachot ve'atz lehashir lo yeuneh. What's how to say? Lo yeunera. I remember the pasuk. Shoot. Lo yeuneh. And the person who's quick to try to gain wealth, he falls and he stumbles. Lo yeuneh. He doesn't get to it. I'm trying to remember the save the pasuk. So the Midrash says like this: Ish emunot Rav Brachot. This is Yaakov Avinu. Ve'atz la'ashir lo yeuneh. And the person who's so quick to try to gain wealth, this is Esav. Where do you see that in the Torah? You saw when Yaakov Avinu wanted to purchase the plot of Me'at HaMachpelah of Esav, he gave all the money that he got from the house of Lavan of Chutz La'aretz. It was a car, of course, tons of money. And he said, this is besides the gift that Yaakov gave to Esav when he was pursuing him, when he came back to Eretz Yisrael. So he said, take Asher Kariti Li. Yaakov Avinu told before he passed away, I want you to use Yosef to bury me in the grave Asher Kariti Li. The pasuk says, in which I dug Kariti. So Rashi says on the spot that the word Kariti also means that I made a pile of money and I told Esav, take this in exchange for your plot in Me'at HaMachpelah. So he was stupid. That's not Ashir. Someone who's quick to gain money. He tries to find any quick fix. There's a quick opportunity here, and he's not miyushav, he's not settled. He loses out. In the end, he loses out. He gets punished for it. I just forgot the end of the pasuk. We can open up the seat if you want. Okay, so Ish Emunot Rav Brachot. It's the one we want to focus on is Yaakov and Esav. Okay, in this pasuk, Rabbeinu connects Emunah to bracha. Ish Emunot Rav Brachot. And the brachot and the Emunah, clear. Second pasuk. Ubechinat Vayi Yadav Emunah. The hands of Moshe Rabbeinu were faithful. This is a parashat B'Shalach on the war with Amalek. The first war with Amalek in the Torah. As soon as the Jews left, Vayavo Amalek, Vayilachem Yisrael, right? Birfidim. The Jews already were now next to Plishtim land. Thank you. Thank you. I know I made a mistake. Pasuk Mishnah. Now, sharing someone who's quick, lo yinake, he won't be clean. He's going to be dirtied. That's what happened with Esav when they came to bury. Just going back to the first pasuk, when they came to bury Yaakov Avinu. So Esav came. You remember, right before entering Me'at HaMachpelah, Esav came. He was still alive with a mechaah. No, you can't bury him here. This is my plot. So he says who? He said, what's my plot? He says, yeah, but there's a star that you sold. You sold your plot to Yaakov Avinu. Where's the star? Back in Mitzrayim. Who's going to go back to get it? So Naphtali, one of the sons of Naphtali, was quick to run. He was running quickly to get it. In the meantime, Hushim ben Dan, who was hard of hearing, he said, what's this delay? He says, because of Esav. He said, what? He took his stick, he smashed Esav on the head, his eyes popped out, and the eyes rolled into Me'at HaMachpelah. When they say today that there's a room for the head of Esav, it's a mistake. Where Rosenfeld, he says on the shir, it's not the head of Esav, it's the eyeballs of Esav that rolled in. He's not buried in Me'at HaMachpelah, but his eyes rolled into the Me'at HaMachpelah, okay? His eyes, because Hushim smashed his head, killing him. So like he crashed the skull, the eyes popped out. That's how Esav died. And then they continued to bury Yaakov Avinu, okay? So in the end, he wasn't clean. He thought he would get clean out of it. He said he thought he would get the money and also they're able to have to be buried there. In the end, he lost out his portion. Okay, he left Eretz Yisrael. So the idea of that's the idea of Yaakov and Esav. Second pasuk now, Yadav Emunah. So we're saying like this in Parashat B'Shalach, The Jews, Amalek, the Jews had a rifyon yadayim. The Jews became a bit, when things are going nice in life, so what happens? Your avodat Hashem becomes very weak. The reason why the Yidden in Europe and in North Africa, the Yidden and the Galut were so strong, because they were always being persecuted. The Jews were always being pursued and persecuted, and that's what built them. It's like it says the Midrash, Hapishtani Hazeh, flax. How do you make flax strong? You have to beat it. To make flax, the grains of flax strong, to be a fabric, you have to keep on hitting them. And the more you hit it, the more you beat it and develop it, the more the flax is stronger. So it's also the Yidden are like the Pishtani Hazeh, that the more we get beaten up, that's what builds us. Why are we still here? Because of what we went through in the Galut, all the pogromim and all the difficulties and all the challenges. That is what builds us up, okay? But when everything is smooth, American style, laid back, everything, a vacation, Shem Rachem, and the David becomes very lax, very laid back. The Avodat Hashem, yeah, I'm from, yeah. But it's all external. It's all like inside of me. There's Rifyon and the Emunah. The Emunah is Rifyon, so that's when Amalek comes. Amalek is Gematria, Safek. Amalek, Rabbi Nachman teaches, he's alienistic foreign ideologies. Fira. Why do you have to serve Hashem? Why do you have to like this? Why do you have to grow pace? Why do you have to look like a Yid? Why do you have to dress like a Yid? Well, just to be like everybody else. It comes with all types of, it's called Amalekistic ideology. Animalistic ideology, right? He comes attacking the brain. He comes to attack the Emunah in the brain. In the brain, he said, Sechel is a kapul Emunah. Okay? Why do you have to put Emunah into the Sechel? Because he's attacking the Sechel to distort the Emunah. If there's no Emunah inside, we said you have Emunah b'tok b'ta Sechel, so you have intellect. Well, it also comes with intellect. Why does it be like this? Why move this, open here, make it open here? Why do you have to be so solid in your Torah observance, and why stuff like that? Why do you have to be so machmir on your peitzah, on your matzahs and everything? Just be normal and everything, Always Amalek is trying to make leniencies. Yeah, let's give it a little. Okay, I won't shave off my beard totally, but I'll trim it a little, like this, so I look cool, I look nice and more attractive and everything. And this, that's Amalek attacking the brain. If there's Emunah inside it, so the Emunah doesn't let Amalek come inside. So let's go back. It says there that Amalek came and attacked the Jews who were outside of the cloud. Which Jews were outside of the cloud? Machane Dan. Not the whole tribe. Jews from the tribe of Dan were outside. Because Dan, by nature, is dinim. It's growth. It's a difficult tribe. And they're like, they're the last tribe. They're like at the end. So because they're at the end, they also had Jews in that tribe who were morally at the end. They felt, I'm not shayach, I'm a nobody, I'm never going to make it. So the Jews outside from the tribe of Dan were outside of the cloud. Those Jews who had Yehush, they gave up on everything, okay? And they fell in Gamabrit. So this is why it says that Amalek, when he came to attack those Jews who were outside, and he killed them, what does it say? He cut off their organ, their sexual organ, their brit, and they made fun of Hashem. They were all circumcised. Those Jews were outside of the tribe of the cloud. So they took the circumcised brit, threw it upwards as if to make fun of Hashem. Here's your mitzvah. Why after that? Something else. Why do something stupid, like disgusting like that? Because that's where they were blemished in. They were brit, okay? So after that happened, Hashem Moshe Rabbeinu called Yehoshua, Tzeh hilachem ba'Amalek. Go, we have to fight Amalek. And it says, I'll be on top of the mountain, with Aaron on my right, Hor on my left, Umate Elokim bi'adi, and the staff of God in my hand, and I'll extend my hands in prayer for you to succeed. Okay, so Moshe Rabbeinu was davening on top of the mountain, and Yehoshua with tzaddikim, b'char lanu anashim, Rashi says, tzaddikim, I want you to take tzaddikim or the soldiers, and say hilachem Amalek, right? And it says there, Vayichot Yehoshua Amalek al pi charev. Is that the Lashon pasuk? He says he was able to destroy, to kill them al picher, but he didn't finish them off totally. He killed the Amalekites, but he left a few alive. Why? Al dibur. Hashem said, it's not the time yet. It's not the time. You take, it's not the time yet. You have an opportunity to take Amalek. No, it's not the time. The Jews have to be in a state of chametz, like we said about Shavuot. Rav Nosson explains this. They have to be in a state of shehiyah. They're just fresh now. They're on the way to receive they just received the Torah. At the beginning of Avam Yisrael. They're at the top. They're about to enter Yisrael. They're going to be Beit HaMikdash. No, the destruction of Amalek has to be at the end of time. Dor until the end. What we're going through now. Amalek will be blotted out. Mashiach comes. Why now? Why not then? Back then? It says because we have to go through the chametz process, waiting and waiting, ups and downs, until enough of it is built. And now we have the getter, and then we can destroy. I didn't go to the getter at all. I don't understand. But this is when we can destroy Amalek totally. Okay. So going back, it says lefi charev. The pasuk says, I wish you could see it in front of me, that the Yeshua killed Amalek lefi charev. So the Zohar says, velo al yedei romach, velo al yedei kashet, not with spears, not with bows and arrows. Cherev. Why cherev? Cherev nokemet. What's the pasuk say in Parashat Bechukotay? Cherev nokemet nekam brit. Cherev is to avenge for Pagam Brit. Because Amalek was the Pagam Brit, the sexual blemish, it lost from the tribe of Dan who were killed and their breeds were cut off. So now to revenge for that, Kilu taking the blemish and making it worse, to avenge that was a cherev. So more than this, so it's 1 second. What happened when the war? Moshe Rabbeinu was on top davening, and Yeshua and the soldiers were fighting. The Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, it says, right? Kasher yarim yado v'gavar Yisrael. Kasher yarid otam v'gavar Amalek. When Moshe Rabbeinu's hands were extended, Am Yisrael was winning. When his hands were loaded, they were weakened. So Amalek was winning. So what did Aaron and Hur do? They held up his hands. But before they held up his hands, they couldn't reach his hands. We said this last time. It was so tall, Moshe Rabbeinu, that Aaron and Hur couldn't reach his hands. So he had to sit down in order for Aaron and Hur to reach Moshe Rabbeinu's hands. He had to sit down. They put a stone under him. Rashi says on the spot, why a stone? Am Yisrael is suffering now, they're fighting. So I'm not going to sit. The Rashi says, V'lo al ksar ksatim. If he's such a judge, he's such a king, Moshe Rabbeinu, let him sit on a couch, on a comfortable pad or something. No. Something which is hard and sturdy and is uncomfortable, that I'm imo anochi b'tzara, okay? That's what Rashi says. So he was sitting on a stone, and when he's sitting on the stone, the hands were now held up. Now they can hold their hands, so that there's no falling of the hands. But the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah says what? V'chi yadav shel Moshe Rabbeinu, the famous song by Pirkei London, whatever, we'll try to finish soon, okay? Is it the hands of Moshe Rabbeinu that determined that the Jews are winning or not? No. It says when the Jews lifted their eyes up to heaven, Hashem helped us, so then Moshe Rabbeinu's hands were raised, V'gavar Yisrael. And when the Jews were weak in their davening, because these are all tzaddikim fighting, they're all daveners, they're all good daveners. So when the davening was low, his hands went down. So to make sure when the davening was strong, so they came to hold up the support of Aaron and Hur was like the Talmidim to help Moshe Rabbeinu that the hands should be sturdy. So the Maharsha explains why do you need the hands of Moshe Rabbeinu if now everything's up to the davening of the soldiers? The davening of Am Yisrael is what determined. So why do you need the hands? So the Maharsha says it amazing. He says when the Jews saw Moshe Rabbeinu davening, that gave them the chizuk to daven. Their emunah was dependent on Moshe Rabbeinu. This idea, why you need a tzaddik? Why need a tzaddik in your life? When you see a tzaddik davening, and he's davening for you, that gives you koach to become a better Jew. That gives you the koach to shape up, okay? So they saw Moshe Rabbeinu davening, okay? That's what gave the koach. The Zohar says now more than that. The Zohar says, and Rav Nosson explains the idea, when a Jew is pogem the brit, he loses his pintalayid. He lost it. He lost it. So he says, Rav Nosson, this is why a Jew, God forbid, who has sexual blemish, he has no other alternative than to come close to a tzaddik. The tzaddik is called the tzaddik. Why is he called the tzaddik? Every Jew is a tzaddik. But Jews, when they pogem brit, they can lose they're into of Kedusha. I'll just explain a little. Rabbi Nachman said in lesson 23 that every Jew, just for the fact that he has a Brit Milah, he's called a tzaddik. Why? Because everyone has a Brit Milah. And regarding it, that's how they guard their name. When the Jew is pogem the Brit, sexual blemish, wasting of the seed, whatever, he loses his pintalayid, he loses his title of tzaddik. So now what does he have to do? He has to go to a tzaddik who's called a tzaddik because why? What does the Zohar say? Ezu tzaddik? It says Ezu Asher, Ezu Gibor, who's a wealthy man, who's a strong man. The Zohar adds, who's a tzaddik? Mandenat habrit, someone who guards the brit. Muslim writes that a Jew now who lost his brit, he lost his tzaddik, he has to go to another tzaddik, who's a real tzaddik, and that tzaddik will help him to give him a new point, a new intellect. You hear this? This is crazy. That we're in a situation where the person on his own, forget it, it's not going to work out. You need a tzaddik in your life to give you a new point, a new essence of Kedusha, Pintalayid, to let you have the title of being a tzaddik again. So Moshe Rabbeinu was, the Zohar says, because it says Al Pi Charev, that Yeshua was able to wipe it up through the Cherev. Who's Cherev? The Cherev of Moshe Rabbeinu. Cherev Nokemet Nekam Brit, to avenge the blemish of the covenant is to give them back the Kedusha of the Brit. So this was through Moshe Rabbeinu on top, davening his part, and then the davening of the Jewish people below was Emunah. But the Emunah, he says, Rav Nosson, is dependent on the Brit. So that's why I needed Moshe Rabbeinu davening to give them the Brit, that there should be the power of the Brit, and then the Jewish people continued with their davening. Okay, I'll finish everything today. This is too much. We have to continue. This is where we left off last time. Also, I just remember now. It's so many details. I think we did all the details. Next class we'll go into the idea of the Even. What's the idea of the Even? And Aaron and Hor holding up the hands. And then Rabbeinu's second proof here. Okay, I'll tell you already. Ish Emunot Rav Brachot is Yaakov and Esav. Vayeda Emunah is Moshe Rabbeinu and Amalek. And the third pasuk, V'kama bi'adecha mamlechet Yisrael, is the final verse about Shaul Amalek towards David Amalek. I see that you are going to be king and not me. Why not me? Why not Shaul Amalek? Because he didn't kill Amalek. So you see in all three proofs here, Rabbeinu is trying to say something about Amalek. First, the format of Esav, the forefather, the forebearer of Amalek, then Moshe Rabbeinu and Amalek, and then David Amalek as the antithesis of Shaul, who was the failure of wiping out Amalek. We'll go into all three B'ezrat Hashem and why each detail B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, next time. Yeah.